Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and oh boy, buckle up, this is going to be a long video. Last week, I said in my shop review that I was going to do a video which featured every single vehicle being played that was in the shop next Friday. And here we are. Oh boy, this is going to be a long one. We are going to be reviewing, let me get up the list of vehicles very quickly. The Luva Skoda T27, 777 Lycan, Project 68 Proto, 452K, LT432, CS52 Lease, Scorpion, and a TL7 120. So quite a bit of vehicles that we are going to be playing in today. I'm also going to be talking about the bundles as we break into each vehicle. So hopefully you get an idea of what you might want this week. As always, these videos take a lot of time, and if you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. We are going to start off with the Untamed Fury bundle. This is for the Skoda T27 and Luva for 11,000 gold. You get 40 boosters are each applied to the vehicle, as we can see. You get 2 legendary camos, and the vehicles come fully equipped, which is actually pretty nice. You can also buy the vehicles individually for 6,500 gold each, if that's what you're looking more towards. I would definitely say the Skoda T27 is worth 6,500 gold, but in my eyes, if you're going to get the Skoda T27, you might as well just get the bundle. It's only about, what, 4,500 gold more, and you're getting boosters, you're getting the vehicles equipped, and you're getting the camo, plus you're getting another tier 8 tag on for quite a bit cheaper. So I think that's definitely the way I would get the vehicle, but I would say if you're only looking for one of the two, get the Skoda T27. We're going to start off with the Luva very briefly. Taking a look at its statistics, we can see it's got an incredibly accurate gun with 0.3 dispersion. It's got okay DPM at 2054, but that's because it has some of the best penetration in the game. 246 on the standard, over 300 on the APCR. It's got low damage per shot at 310, but thankfully with so much pen, it shouldn't really matter. You're going to pen every shot you shoot. 8 degrees of gun depression makes it fairly flexible on any ridgeline. It's got a top speed of 35 and a reverse of 15. However, let's be completely honest, guys. The reverse speed on this vehicle doesn't really, or not the reverse, just the speed in general on this tank doesn't really matter too much when it has a power to weight of 10. So, yeah. The Luva, it's just basically a really good gun on a fairly well-armored German super heavy with really poor mobility. I actually think this is quite a solid vehicle, though. You don't ever really have to load gold ammunition, and when you pair that with really, really good credit coefficients in general, this is actually one of the highest credit earning vehicles in Tier 8. Now, you may have noticed I swapped to gun rammer. That's because this thing has so much premium pen, I don't really see a reason to run calibrated shells on it. Yes, it might help in certain situations against higher tier vehicles, but that's not going to affect us this game, so not too sad about it. We're going to head into the front, obviously, here, but we can see, oh, a T-34 stopping right in front of me. That's always a bit disappointing when you're in quite a slow vehicle like this, because you obviously want to try and get on that hill as fast as possible. And yeah, this is not a very quick tank. We're chilling at around 25 kilometers per hour, which is pretty dang slow. What do we have up against us? We have a Scorpion G and a silencer for tank destroyers. We can see the MIL 1951 actually spotted. That was just a very sad shell. Is the Chimera going to aim it on me? Yes, he is. And, well, it's a Chimera, so the thing rolls me for a ridiculous 460. Well, not much I can really say. I mean, the Chimera lost more health than we did, so it's not the biggest deal ever. We do have our adrenaline on, and if that Chimera pokes, we will easily shoot him in the turret. But man, that reactive took away a lot of our damage there, only rolling about 200. Alright, well, we got the Tiger. There you go, nice shot into the Tiger. And you can see the armor on this vehicle, it's not the greatest. I mean, you really just don't get that many bounces with this tank. It's okay, but again, like, pretty mid overall, I would have to be honest on there. But Chimera, probably going to pen me. Not that big of a deal, though, again. Oh, and he messed up the shot. Well, that's just a big skill issue on his part. Dude has basically nuked his HP pool at this point. We're going to back up, get a nice clear onto the enemy Tiger. One thing I have noticed, though, is my game volume is very loud, so I'm sorry if I deafened you for a bit there. Should be fixed, though. Turn it down quite a bit, and it won't be an issue anymore. Alright, well, let's move on up. Let's aim it on that silencer. There you go. Easy clear into his tank. And we have the BZ-166. Oh, and of course, the Scorpion G shoots us. Not very fun, but at least we were only shot for about 390. Could have been a lot worse. This is where, obviously, having gun rammer on this vehicle is going to make it a lot better. Never mind. I lied. Actually, running gun rammer didn't help us at all, as he got obliterated by our tank destroyers in the back. But not too much of a problem here. We've already done a solid amount of damage this game, and we are just going to push over towards the Emil 1951. We're going to load a gold shell and fly right through his turrets. This is where having that really good penetration comes in handy. You can see the standard, it's just not enough to cut through the Emil, but the gold is plenty, and we've already taken him down quite a sizable chunk of his HP. I can't tell if he's AFK or not, but I don't have enough health to reliably take a clip from his vehicle, so for now, I think it's a lot safer to just play it calm, play it passive, and load some gold right into his turret. And it looks like we should be able to clear him anyway. We're going to load in a high explosive shell and shoot it right into the roof of his tank. Alright, we got a Scorpion G and a ground tank left. Alright, let's push on the ground tank and... Oh, I forgot that that thing's got a really weird armor profile. I mean, it's not going to matter. We have plenty of health anyway, so we're just going to roll off to the side of his vehicle. And there you go. Nice clear. I am a little worried about that Scorpion finishing me off. It's very possible that guy could be sitting right in the back there. But that's not really my problem. What is a problem is that our team is all very, very low. And let's cross here. I knew it. I called it too. I knew that the Scorpion was going to be sitting right in that bush. But we have a full health AT-15, so I don't think it's going to be the biggest issue ever. But I was even going to blind fire there. I was just waiting until I could get into a little bit safer of a position. But man, can't believe we knew it. Also, yeah, I was about to say, I don't know why the AT isn't blind firing that. But thankfully, never mind. And there you have it, finishing off indeed with a victory. Not too bad of a result at all for the Luva, and I think it was a good example of really what this tank has going for it. The gun is great. You're not going to have any issues with the gun whatsoever. The mobility is pretty poor, and the overall DPM is nothing amazing. We actually aced the tank for this battle, which is obviously going to bring us in a lot of credits, 154,000, but to be honest, not as many as I would think for acing this vehicle with such a high credit coefficient, probably because we did fire about 5 out of our 6 APCR rounds that game. Either way, I would say that this is definitely a solid vehicle. It can be a bit boring because there's not much going for it apart from the gun, but it's definitely going to get the job done, and it's quite a capable vehicle. The only thing that's kind of mid is the armor. It's okay. I mean, using gun depression, the turret's quite solid, but the lower plate and the sides are surprisingly weak for a German super heavy. So, yeah, it's good and bad at the same time, but overall, I'd give this tank a solid 8 out of 10 on capability and a 6 out of 10 on fun. Now we are going to make our way over to an easy 9 out of 10 on fun, which is the Skoda T27. This clipper is just absolutely amazing. The only thing I need to do is fix our ammunition loadout on the tank. There you go. So the Skoda T27 features a 3-shell 220 damage clip, so it deals 660 damage in 3 seconds. Yeah, it's got a 1.5 second interclip. This is basically the pre-nerfed TVP, just down at tier 8. It's got really good pen, 204 on the standard, 250 on the premium, so plenty of pen to cut through your opponents. It's accurate, .308 dispersion, solid aiming time, and its DPM is also good enough. It's about the same as your average heavy, sitting at 2,000. So it's got plenty of DPM, it's got great overall clipping potential, and when you take a look at the mobility, it's fast. Power to weight of 23, top speed of 50, reverse of 20. It's kind of like your average medium tank in that regard, but there's no real complaints when it comes to the Skoda T27. Its gun is great, and the only real downside is the armor. I mean, it doesn't have much. The turret does have somewhat of a troll mantlet, just like the TVP 5051, but apart from that, the hull is awful. The sides are actually horrible. Like, you can be HE'd by anything in the sides, but it's not really too much of an issue because at lower tiers people don't really shoot that much HE. It's only the higher tiers where you might have to be worried about a 183 or, you know, a Jagdpanzer that's going to roll you for 1,300. Thankfully, down in tier 8, there's not really that many high alpha vehicles. I mean, you have the ISU and the Smasher, but the Borsig, well, obviously that tank doesn't really feature its alpha damage anymore. And when you get the clip out in this vehicle, it is absolutely dangerous, as we can see. I just took off half of that magnate, and I don't think he enjoyed that, I'm going to be honest. And in 8 seconds, we get our clip back. This is why I love the Skoda, and I think it's such a dangerous vehicle, is because it really is. I mean, there's not much you can do to counter this vehicle when you're getting that clip out. There you go. So we killed a full health tank already. I mean, what? Yeah, this gun is so fun to use, and that's why right there. I mean, people that are not paying attention or don't really know what they're doing, and which is quite common, obviously, in lower tiers, just makes this tank so absolutely dangerous. I was really hoping we could ammo rack that Judo, because we did damage his rack, but it looks like the shells did not really do much to him there. But hey, with him having that damaged ammo rack, we just reload. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive up this hill a little bit. That way, even if he does shoot us, we can just hit him once, twice, and 3 times in the engine deck. And then we back up. So we're already at 2,400 damage, which is kind of insane. And we haven't really bled much ourselves. I'm not really sure if this Pantera is trying to rush me or what he's trying to do, but I'm just going to keep backing up, and there you go. Nice shell into the enemy Pantera. Let's reload the clip, start heading for the Tiger. But yeah, this has been pretty fun. I'm not going to say anything there. We're already at 2,500. The Tiger is backing up in the open, which means ideally, in 2 seconds, we're just going to turn our tank over this ridge. There's 1, 2... 3. There you go. 670 HP. Boom. 3,200 damage dealt. And, I mean, literally just the easiest result ever. This is just the simplest example of why I would recommend that anybody who likes alpha and mobility and a super fun clip kind of combines them all together to get a vehicle like the Skoda T27. As I said before, this tank's an easy 9 out of 10. And it's quite easy to understand why. Just so good. So we have the Borsig off to the back over here. There's 1 shell and 2. There you go. 3,500 damage dealt in a very short 3-ish minutes, not even. And as I said, while this tank may not feature as much DPM as mediums, it still has plenty of damage per minute to get the job done. And we saw that here, no issues. So 3,500 damage in the Luva, 3,500 damage in the Skoda T27. As I said, I think this is a fairly decent bundle. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I do think that the Skoda itself is a fantastic vehicle, and for anybody that loves clippers out there, that loves mobility, it's just a great combination of both, and really allows you to have fun where you might not find it in a lot of other Tier 8s. Now we're going to move over to Tier 10, as we are going to be playing in the Object 777 version 2. You can pick this vehicle up for the price tag of 25,000 gold. I've actually seen some people already say they're going to get it. I don't think it's the best bundle. I don't think it's the worst bundle. You do get 30 days of premium. You do get 25 boosters with it. It gets fully equipped. It gets the camo, which alone is like 5,000 gold. You also get 10 mystery boxes, which might give you maybe 4 or 3,000 gold back. So let's say the bundle's more like 23,000 gold. Either way, the bundle itself is alright. And you're getting what you're paying for when it comes to the vehicle. The only reason I personally don't recommend it is because I think in the future it will come out cheaper. And I also think that there are better Tier 10s like the Chieftain Mark 6, which are more fun to play, not necessarily better for, you know, doing stats-wise, but I don't know. That's my personal viewpoint, is that 25,000 is quite expensive, unless you have a double gold bundle. You know, every now and then double gold bundles come out, or you can easily purchase double gold bundles if you go to the Wargaming official website. If you haven't purchased one there, you can get double gold for your first time. So at that point, you can get this tank for essentially half the price. So yeah, I don't know. I think the 777's a solid tank, and I think that bundle is right on the cusp of being alright, but I also think it's kind of bad, so that's my viewpoint. But we're here to talk about the Object 777 and its capabilities. So first of all, we have the gun. Very solid DPM, over 3,000 if you're running rammer, and it's, I think, 2,900 with me running calibrated shells. The reason I'm running Cali, though, is because this tank has crazy good heat pen. 340 base, and because I'm running Cali, it's 374, which is more than enough to cut through any Tier 10. And it's one of the few heavies that actually kept the 374. The T57 Heavy, Kron, and E6 all lost it, now sitting at 363, where funny enough, the WZ-113 went to 380. I don't know what Wargaming was thinking there. Either way, this vehicle has really good DPM. And when you pair that with a top speed of 45 and very solid armor, it's just an amazing heavy in most situations. So, we're putting it in a situation up against a lot of heavily armored vehicles. Kampfpanzer 70, T57 Heavy, FE2 and 5B, and an E100. Pair that with a Badger, and their entire team is basically full of heavy tanks. Kind of wish I loaded more gold now, but we'll see if we actually need to use gold or not. Thankfully, As I did say, this vehicle features very, very good penetration, which means for the majority of times you play it, shouldn't be too much of an issue to cut through your opponents. We are going to go wide. I think going wide is a much better decision a lot of times, just because of the fact that it's a little bit safer, but hopefully that KPZ, nice, does not pen me. That's obviously really, really good. We're just going to move up, and hopefully the Toon 5B doesn't cut through me. Yes, okay, we're all good. They have 3 tanks out wide, though, which is obviously quite dangerous. We got the Badger. There you go, nice 376. We can see that turret armor on the 777 doing its job, giving us bounces. We're going to reload again. We're going to aim it on the Badger, and we are just able to squeeze the shell into the corner of his lower plate if we load gold, so that's exactly what we're going to do. While our 268 has bled a lot, the good news is that we are still full, and we're the ones in the front line here. So as long as we are able to hold this flank, I think our team will be doing A-okay. We have the KPZ. I'm actually very surprised that didn't pen, to be honest. I thought that would. Alright, Badger gets shot for 270. We're not doing great right now, I will admit that. We're not penning every shot, but we're still got about 1,500 at this point. I'm seeing a 50-41 YOLO on that side, which is an interesting play from their team. We got the 2 and 5B, who's already resorting to shooting HE. Not the most optimal plays from that person there. We got the Conf Panzer showing me his lower plate. There you go, he bounces me. And I don't love being tracked in the open, though, so hopefully we can back up here. Nice, okay, we were able to. Unfortunately, my 268 did die in the process, and our shell did not do anything to that 2 and 5B. Essentially, right now, I am holding this flank on my own, which is not very good for me, but we get another shell. There you go. It's an HE from the the 2 and 5B is what I should say. We're just going to wiggle it, and let's see if we can get another shell. There you go. Another nice 400 damage shot. However, I am screwed. Doesn't really matter what I do here when you've got a 183 that's about to roll around the corner. So I'm going to track him, and hopefully, yes, okay, that was actually kind of huge, I do have to admit, but now we have the KPZ on our front, which we are able to get the shell into. I think the only way I end up living in this... Nah, there's just no way I live in this situation here. We've got way... Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know what my team is doing. They all just left me. I had a T-30 that was helping me on the rear. Dude left, and it would have been really nice to have just a little bit of extra support, but oh well. The 777 did fine, though. I mean, we held, we got a lot of shells out, we got some good damage out. We were just gifted with a really bad team, and there's not much you can do about that. I mean, do I really need to say anything else about this result here? We still did 4,000 damage, which is kind of crazy for the situation we had thrown in front of us. And it shows you just where the 777 is a fantastic heavy. It's got the DPM to get the job done. It's got enough armor to get some bounces here and there, especially on the turret being very troll. And when you pair that with good mobility, it's just a do-it-all heavy. Its really only downside is poor reverse speed and pretty poor gun depression. But I really can't complain about this tank. It's absolutely fantastic, and I can't really name a lot of vehicles that would have been able to hold as long as I did in the 777 there. As I said, it was just unfortunate that the 268 killed himself, who was behind me, and the T-30 left. If I'd had that support behind me, probably could have been a pretty easy win, but all it takes is one or two of your teammates to leave you and you fall apart. Either way, the 777 is an absolutely amazing tank. Now we move on to a draw. As we can see, there is a Lycan draw available in the game for 4 more days. To get your hands on this vehicle, you're going to have to spend a decent amount of gold, but it doesn't look like anything ridiculous here. If we add up a couple of the final values, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages. Let's say each one's about 1,500 gold, so probably about 10,000 gold to get your hands on Lycan guaranteed. Yeah, never mind. That's really bad. I actually can't recommend to spend your gold on this draw here. I mean, the Lycan's a decent vehicle and all, and getting the camo, I guess, is cool if you don't have it, but nothing else in this draw is good. I mean, none of these bundles here are good. It's literally just the tank you're looking for, and judging that it probably has the lowest drop chance out of the bunch, I really just can't recommend to waste your gold to get your hands on the Lycan. But I will say that this is actually quite a strong vehicle. Wargaming has buffed this tank's upper plate to a point now where it's actually really, really good. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression, which makes this probably the only pike-nosed vehicle which has 10 degrees. Not only that, but it is also decently fast at 35 kilometers per hour with a power to weight of 16. It also never gets its modules damaged. The Lycan has, like, some of the strongest strongest modules in the games. The chance of getting ammo racked is like 0 in this vehicle. It's actually insane. The chance of getting a damaged engine or anything like that is very, very hard. Now, that doesn't mean your crew can't get damaged, but in terms of the modules, they're almost never going to break, which makes this tank really, really good. I actually like the Lycan. I think it looks cool. I like the playstyle. I like the gun. It hits hard. And the fact that Wargaming buffed the armor actually made it really good now. The upper plate sits at around 250 to 60 mils thick on flat ground. If you're using it hull down, it's upwards of 350 to 400. Essentially, it's kind of like a 2.5 to you at tier 7, which is really good. So we'll see what we can do. Well, this is a pretty good matchup. We got a couple tier 6s and tier 7s. Okay, well, our team isn't exactly going the way I would want. A tank with 10 degrees gun depression, I always want to play in the park so that I can use the gun depression on the ridges. Unfortunately, over here, the only spot I guess we could try to work hull down is the stairs, but that's not even really that much gun depression able to be used because of how it flattens out. I honestly don't like this map at all, Dynasty. I just think it's an incredibly mediocre map, and it's because of the fact that there's really not much you can do when you're in a heavy that's meant to use gun depression, or a lot of mediums as well. But we'll see. Got an LTTB. Oh, and we got a SP who is... You know what happened there? I can tell you exactly what happened, and if you watch back, I bet in slow-mo, my shell hit the gun barrel of the SU-152, causing me to not hit the SP. It's not going to matter. That was somewhat my fault. I kind of jerked the mouse at the last second there, and it went just a teeny bit too low. It still shouldn't have done that, but yeah, welcome to Soviet-style guns. Third shot is the charm. We're able to clear the SP. A little annoying. To be fair, it wouldn't have saved the SU. We had an LTTB and everything else on his rear, but still pretty disappointing. Alright, well, we get a shell into the U. We have an ISU-122S in front of us. Alright, we're just going to back on up. Keep on backing up. We're going to wait for our reload, and then we should be able to hit the ISU-122S. Let's see, there he is. Nice. The great thing is, we're a heavy, and that is a tank destroyer. So we have 400 more base health than the ISU. So even though we traded, I basically just win the trade no matter what. Then we got the LTTB, which... Oh, yeah! That made up for my SP shots earlier. 500 damage HE into his tank. You can see this is just a really flexible vehicle. When you give a vehicle alpha damage, when you give it really, really good armor and all these capabilities, that was just really unfortunate. He, like, maneuvered his tank in the weirdest way, which caused me to not be able to actually see his hull when I shot, which is just super, super cringe, I gotta be honest. But this time, we do get the shell out. There you go, 386. And I don't think that ISU really enjoyed our company too much. Alright, he's a one-shot. I'm not going to waste my time on him anymore. And all that's left is the Stritzvon, who I would love to get some damage into. Yeet, 456. And then we just get into a good old face huggeroonie, and I don't really think he can do much. So yeah, not the best performance from me, I will admit. Some missed shots here and there, some of which shouldn't have missed. But we still won. We still did fine. And I think we showcased where the Lycan is a pretty good vehicle. So I can't get all too mad. There you go. Victory indeed. At least it's not like our 777 game. 2,865 damage dealt, and yeah, that's just a solid result. I like this tank, but it's definitely not worth 10,000 gold when you can buy 2 tier 8s for almost the same price. That's just kind of common sense, to be completely real. We now have a new vehicle, which is, well, in crate. So already you know I'm going to say don't waste your money on crate. It's a bad way of spending money. This is the Kampfpanzer Project 68 Proto. It's actually a really good tank. It's got a solid gun with 380 damage per shot, really, really good penetration, 270 on APCR, and it's actually a really cool looking vehicle. All the things I like about this tank. The only problem is, as I said, it's in crates right now, and because of that, you just can't really spend your money on it. It's not worth 15,000 gold to get a couple charms. These crates are ridiculously expensive. Don't waste your money on the crates. If you do have this tank in your garage, or you still plan on spending your money on these crates because you're kind of like me and you're a bit of a whale, then alright, I'm still going to play in the vehicle, and I'm going to showcase what it can do, but I definitely would not recommend to waste your gold. So here we are, and our T-71 is going to the heavy flank. Now something to know about this vehicle is the armor is not great. Its hull is pretty weak, and it's really only the turret that's very good, which is funny, because it looks exactly like a Leopard 1 turret, but if the Leopard 1 had this turret, trust me, the Leopard would be the best tank in Tier 10. It's actually really, really strong, probably close to 300 mils thick on the majority of spots when it comes to the turret. The problem is the hull is very, very mid, and you're not going to be getting too many bounces there. So we have the Yo. There you go. Nice 380 shot into his vehicle. It's a great example of the alpha damage this tank does carry. It hits hard. It hits very hard, which is always nice and allows you to get some good shots out. There you go. 360 shell into that player. We have the lightweight. You'll notice this thing reverses quite quickly, though, which is always good. So we're going to reload here, and we're not able to hit the lightweight, at least yet. Oh, wait. Is he gonna... He's gonna do it. There we don't go. Man, I do not like this situation here. Do they only have one medium? No, they have two. They also... Yep, there it is. There it is. There goes all of our health. We love the Barask. And the lightweight's going to push us, which means we're going to lose... Oh, we're not going to lose more. Okay, well, I'm going to try and get out of here while I can. I'm going to maneuver this way. And I would expect the Barask to be getting a shell soon, but not soon enough to hit us. Okay, that's good. Woof! That was a very, very annoying situation. Kind of expected it to happen, though. Let's see. AMX does roll around the corner, and he hits that. Alright. He hit us right there. Very annoying stuff. However, as I did say, this is really only a tank that's supposed to be used hull down. So if you're using it on flat ground, you really can't expect too much from this vehicle or its overall capabilities when it comes to the armor. It's just kind of how it is. The Chrysler is going to try and deal with that player there, so we're going to push to the side of the Yo. Get a nice 368 damage shot. I really like the Alpha, though. The great thing is, even if you are in kind of one of these awkward games where you're not able to do much because the gun isn't, you know, optimal for the situation and everything like that, what's nice is the tank still hits very hard. 393, for example. So you can still outtrade your opponents. And that's what we were able to do here. We surprisingly lived. We did a decent amount of damage at around 2,200. And yeah, it's a fun tank. I can't say it's as good as a Chimera, but I can definitely say that it's a solid vehicle. You can do well in it. You just need to be given the opportunity to get hull down, which we don't really have in that map. But we still did top of the team. Not a bad game at all. So that is the Kampfpanzer Project 68. We move on to Tier 9, arriving at the Object 452K. This is a tank that I actually made a video on just a couple days ago, talking about its capabilities and whether or not I thought the deal was worth it. And I'm obviously going to stick with everything I said in that video. I actually like the 452K quite a bit now. It's a solid vehicle. The bundle itself is $30 for this tank. You can actually buy it on Wargaming's website, if you go to worldoftanksblitz.com or whatever the heck it is, for $25 US. So you can save $5. Always buy bundles from their website if they have them available. Gold, it doesn't matter. The gold offers you'll always buy in-game, but the money ones you can always buy on their website, and you can usually get it cheaper there. So because of that, $25 for a 452K, not an awful deal, especially with the bundle itself. It gives you some crates, it gives you the vehicle fully equipped, it gives you boosters, which you can use on other vehicles as well. I think it's quite a solid bundle. And I originally hated this tank, but over time have started to like it, especially after the buff. The gun went from .362 dispersion to .344, which is quite a substantial buff, which allows the tank to be quite confident in a lot of shots now. Not only that, but it's also got good gun depression at 7 degrees, solid mobility, and fantastic hull-down capabilities. The only problem with the 452K is that it has some of the worst side armor, it's got really, really bad reverse speed, and it is quite hard to hide that lower plate, which can make it quite awkward to use in a lot of spots. So it definitely has its fair share of weaknesses cut out for it. It's not an E75. You're not going to be able to just drive out in the open and say, haha, you can't pen me. You definitely have to use some brain cells to play this vehicle properly. But if you can play it properly, I can tell you for a fact that it's actually quite an enjoyable vehicle. So we're going to see if that's the case here. We're going to make our way up the bridge following the 122 TM. What do they have? Well, they got some strong tanks, actually. 752 Tortoise, 452 a Mil 2. The only one I'm really not too worried about is the AMX 5120 because the thing is kind of just a big HP bag. But yeah, the rest of their tanks incredibly strong and definitely going to be a worthy opponent to go up against. Let's see. That's definitely a bigger threat. Of course he hits me, but I guess we out-trade him. But yeah, we both kind of had the same idea, and that was to shoot people in the crossing, which obviously we both did. So the 4.52 is getting bled out, which is quite good actually. He's lost a lot of health. And let's see, we got the Barask in the back. I don't know where the 7.52 is. That's very scary, because that player could pop out of the middle of nowhere and just get some big old bonks out. But, with nothing being spotted right now, aiming... There. Wow. There's nothing that needs to be said. And that's not this gun. That's just wargaming, creating stupid auto ricochets that should not exist on tanks, causing you to bounce shots. That's all it was. Thankfully, we did get our shell out on the enemy AMX, and in 5 more seconds we have another shell ready. I'm just going to drive up here, we're going to aim it on the ML2, and we're going to load a gold shell to guarantee the pen. This vehicle also does feature good penetration. It's 350 mils on the gold if you're running Cali. I would highly recommend to do that, because you're going to be cutting through your opponents quite easily. And out, wait a sec, bye! There you go. That 460 damage obviously coming in nice there. Being able to clear the 4.52 without even a worry in my mind. We're also getting bounces from that Scorpion in the back. We can see that the tank's armor is working more than enough on this ridgeline here. Any spot that you can hide your lower plate and people can't see your lower plate, you're just busted. I mean, that Scorpion can aim at me all day. He's not going to pen. And it's kind of crazy in that regard. So we're going to wait for that Scorpion to be spotted. Yep, there he is. We got 5 more seconds left. He is definitely going to back out of there. Goodbye. So all that's left is the AMX 5120. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get too much more damage, but we've already done plenty this game. At least if you ask me. We've gotten some shells out. We actually have the AMX showing me the flat side. Oh my god, bro. There's no way. Okay, we're good, we're good. I am actually able to HE him. We do pen it. Wow, that 53 is absolutely blind. Dude drove in front of us almost twice. Thankfully, we got the shell out right before he did, and it was a pen, and it was a high roll, so I guess Wargaming felt like I deserved it there. Either way, we had some pretty good results. We did 3,200 damage. We blocked 2,000, literally just sitting, hiding our lower plate. And that's kind of the ideal 4.52 situation there. And it's why I kind of like the tank. The gun just feels nice. We got completely trolled on that Barask. I don't know what the heck that was, but the tank, other than that weird situation, felt great. The gun did its job, and I just overall enjoyed it. As I said, the dispersion buff, having 460 alpha and 0.34 dispersion is amazing. Makes this vehicle feel quite nice. The DPM is great at 2,400. I don't really have any complaints about the 4.52 after they've buffed it. Let me know what you guys think. We move on to another bundle, this one featuring the LT432 and the CS52 lease. You also get 5 collectibles, you get 2 camos, and as well, some boosters, fully equipped, you know, the classic stuff. I actually think this is also a pretty good bundle. And the reason why is because both of these tanks are quite fun and sort of underrated. I mean, the CS52 is not underrated at all. It is one of the best tier 7s in the game, especially medium-wise. This thing has such a good gun. First of all, it hits like a truck with 290 damage per shot. But when you pair that with 6 degrees of gun depression, which is enough for, you know, the Soviet-style medium, and the really good armor. This thing's got 165 mils base on the turret. Because it's rounded, that's actually upwards of 200 plus. And the hull is 80 mils thick, but again, it's a super steep angle. This vehicle's got really good armor. And when you're fighting tier 6s or even 7s, you can guarantee that your upper plate and turret is going to be getting a lot of bounces. When you pair that with the fact that, again, this vehicle hits hard for 290, you're going to be crapping on people. So I actually really like the LIS. It's a great tank. It's one of the highest performing tier 7s actually currently in the game. So I would say that getting this tank alone is a really good deal. And then the LT432, which we'll be breaking into after this tank, is also really fun. It's incredibly mobile. It's got a super enjoyable playstyle when it comes to the gun. And I actually think the tank is incredibly fun. So we'll be breaking into that obviously as well. We're on Molendyke, and that's actually quite a good map for any medium. I don't like driving heavies on Molendyke because of the fact that it's just such a large map. If, let's say, you go towards the heavy flank and their team goes towards the medium flank and they steamroll your mediums, then you lose. And it's the same way the other side, you know, if you're in a medium and your the enemy team goes over there, and you have like 2 or 3 heavies that go towards town. It's just never great. I don't like super large maps because you can't control what happens a lot. That's where World of Tanks PC, the one thing that I don't love about World of Tanks PC is that because the maps are so large, whatever you're doing on your flank is usually not enough to counteract what's going on the other flank. Well, there's an ammo rack. Not as good as our 3 ammo racks in a row on our Somavente Contracaro 64, but hey, we'll see if we can get there. That's a good start. You can see the aiming time on this vehicle is actually quite surprisingly good, and it allows you to get some very, very nasty shots out. So we're going to try and roll to the side of this Helsing very quickly. Aim in, and there you go. Nice 309 shot. Again, the aiming time on this tank is fantastic, and because of that, it's actually quite nice in a lot of situations. There you go. Another nice shot into the enemy Helsing. Just like that. Pretty good start, I will say. We got the Vandal on the back. Dispersion-wise, yeah, this tank's kind of mid, I will admit. So you won't expect to hit every shell in this vehicle. Got the Black Prince off to the side. We're not able to hit him yet. Vandal's in the back. Alright, we're going to just load on his side. And there you go. 284. That's kind of what we were looking for the first time, but obviously didn't happen. Alright, we've got the Helsing, and... oh, nice, he's dead. Okay. I mean, we know the Annihilator's in the back. They also have a Smasher. I mean, they literally just have a flat better lineup than us, which is kind of stupid. Oh, and we're getting shot by the Black Prince now, which is obviously not what I want. Please bounce one of the shots on him. No, he did not. That is really bad. This is actually about as bad as it can get, to be completely real. This is really awful. Okay, well, the only thing that I can do here is put on our auto-aim, try and shoot the Skoda while running, which we were able to, and just try and leave. Actually, we have the Tiger over here. I didn't realize that until I ran away. I mean, I'm glad I ran either way. There was a Black Prince over there, too. I don't really want to deal with a Black Prince, so I'm going to try and help out with the Smasher over here, and equally as dangerous as the Annihilator. So we'll see. Oof, yeah, that Tiger got literally obliterated. Well, let's hope that this Cryos does not die. Would not surprise me if he did, but we're going to push right over here, aiming on the Smasher. There you go, 260 damage shot. Reload again. We've got our Adrenaline on as well, which is always nice. And chonk, there you go. Then we angle the vehicle so that he can't see me. And why did our Cryos choose this route? Well, he lost 330 health for that. I don't know why the Cryos didn't just stay behind him. Either way, we have a Black Prince, a Skoda, and an Annihilator on the enemy team. All super scary vehicles, and we are the only tier 7 left, and with our Magnus dying, yeah, the chances of this being a win are slim, in my opinion. We did not get spotted from the Black Prince, though, which is quite good. Let's see, if that Annihilator goes mid. Okay, that's actually huge. Ooh, yes. Okay, nice. 260 shot into that Annihilator, which is quite good, actually. It's obviously going to lower the enemy team's HP a bit. Got the Black Prince on the side. There you go, 280 damage roll into his vehicle. The alpha damage is nice. I mean, obviously being able to roll anybody for a big chunk is always good. And with the reload that we have on this vehicle, we're able to get out those shells quite easily. Oh, yeah, that made sense. Thank you, game. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know what else to say, because that was so disappointing. All right, let's try this again. Let's aim it on the Black Prince. We're going to have to load gold, but we got the pen out. We're obviously out trading the Black Prince, so it's not too much of an issue there. We're just going to poke him again, and bonk. There you go, 216. The Annihilator is actually a one-shot, but everybody on my team is kind of dying, which is not what we want. There you go, 270. Nice. Okay, they're all one-shots. This is very, very winnable. What we need to do is, first of all, finish off that Skoda, who looked like he was right around here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to push towards the Skoda, and there he is. Come on. Oh, we are spotted. That's really bad. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Come on, go, go, go. Alright, nice. We're fine so far. Black Prince is on our side. There you go. Nice clear. Now the Skoda is going to try and push us, which is obviously not what I want. We also have the Annihilator over here. But I'm not too worried of the Annihilator, because we obviously have pretty good armor on this tank. And the Skoda just shot, for some reason, which means we are completely fine. I think he's on reload, so there you go. That is a great game for the CS-52, and I think it showcases why, as I said, this is a great tank. It's got armor, it's got mobility, and it's got plenty of DPM. And you pair those things together, and you get a 4,800 damage win. So, yeah, 1 versus 3, we got probably a crap ton of credits here, 189,000. Absolutely crazy. I would easily say the CS52 is one of the best tier 7s in the game. Then we arrive to the LT432, and this is definitely a tricky tank to drive, but it's got a lot of super fun things going for it. First of all, you've got a lot of mobility. Reversing at 30 kilometers per hour is always really, really nice. When you pair that with a top speed of 70, yeah, this tank is mobile. It's got your classic 100mm Soviet-style gun. It's got mediocre dispersion at .344. Its average penetration is alright, 180 on the standard, 250 on the premium, and this was the calibrated, which I would definitely recommend to use. Average damage is pretty high, though. It's 280, which is always nice. So, essentially, what you're getting is a Soviet-style gun, 100mm, which you'll find on the T-54 Mod 1, T-44, T-54 lightweight, on a light tank, which has great mobility and really, really good camo values. The other thing I always love about the LT432 is the reverse speed. This tank reverses at 30 again, and that's just so good. Being able to get out of a situation you've put yourself in is always nice. So this is definitely a strong lineup we have to fight. We got a lot of tier 9s. This is not a good matchup for our vehicle. We've been getting a lot of good matchups today, but this one definitely going to be an interesting one. I'll tell you that already. They only have 1 medium, though. Because of that, I'm actually going to try and cross here. I don't always do this, but I feel like I can take advantage of medium side when I'm the only one here. If they don't have anybody that goes to the side of the map, that's even better, because then I can just flank right through their spawn. So we'll wait here for a little bit. Not seeing actually anything. Yep, there you go. There it is. Okay. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to go wide into their spawn and see if we can get some damage out. Okay, well our 252 of course went alone. Yeah, bro, I know what the best decision is. It's to go alone and kill myself. I'm smart. Yes. I really don't know what goes through the minds. Nothing goes through the mind of a player like that. Because you seriously have to be, like, blind to drive a single vehicle away from the entire team you have. Now, the reason I went fully wide over here was to see if they had any tanks that were going to be camping in this back position. There you go. We actually do have an SU-130, who we were able to spot and get a nice shell into. The SU definitely wants to try and shoot me back, so that's something I'm going to have to be a little careful about. We have the Object 84, of course. Well, oh well. This is a very awkward situation we are in. Let's see. There's the Emil. Not able to hit that at all, though. Problem is, our team is just in such a bad spot. I mean, yeah, it's just really, really not the best situation here. But we are distracting, I would say, 2 tanks. I don't know if that Object 84 is going to YOLO me or not, and I hope he really doesn't, because I don't have the kind of tank to withstand that, but we'll find out, I guess. Let's move up a bit here, and let's see, there you go, SU-130, another nice shell. We've brought that full health TD down to 227 HP at this point, and our teammate finishes him off. Okay, this is actually quite good now. I was a little worried to begin with there that the SU-130 was just going to kind of roll us, but apparently it wasn't too much of an issue. We're just going to speed right on past the waffle. He's going to push towards my teammate, but the object is going to shoot me, which is a little annoying. I'm going to have to sit right here then where we are not in the shooting zone for that object. And we're going to reload, finish off that player. There you go. We have the object and the Emil too. He's probably going to look at me, so I'm going to drive over here. And I guess, I mean, with that 30 reverse, look at how fast we're able to just get behind this player. Again, the reverse speed on this tank is so good. And people don't realize why it's so good until you're like, oh, I need to use it. And then you're like, holy crap. That was unfortunate. Hit the wrong part of the tank. The back of his vehicle, when it comes to the turret, there's an HE pen, but it hit the side, so we weren't able to cut through. Either way, solid game. We used the mobility, we used the alpha damage, and we did okay. I mean, 2,000 damage is fine for a tier 8, especially a light tank. We distracted, that's really all we needed to do. So I can't say too much crazy about that game, but not too much bad either. The LT432 is a solid vehicle. And as I said, I think this is actually a pretty solid bundle. For 9,000 gold, you're getting 2 very fun tanks. And I don't think this is that bad, actually. I think it's quite good, especially for how good the CS52 lease is. Only 2 tanks to go. We have the Scorpion G and TL7 120. I don't really understand why this bundle exists. I mean, I like the Scorpion and I like the TL7, but I don't see why 2 completely different tanks are being sold in a bundle together. Usually I would think you would want, 2 tier 8s or something like that. I don't know. Either way, the bundle itself is definitely on the more expensive side at 17,500 gold. But, to be fair, you are getting a tier 9 and a very, very popular tier 8, which is quite good. So I actually don't think this is an overpriced bundle. I would easily say any tier 9 is worth 12,000 to 10,000 gold. So if you do that, and then you say the Scorpion is worth 7 to 6,000 gold, and you combine them together, that about makes sense. And when you add on that, you get both legendary camos, and the bundle is everything fully equipped. I actually don't think it's a bad deal. We are going to be starting off with the Scorpion G. We're going to be showcasing its capabilities, what it has going for it, and then we'll move over to the TL7. Scorpion features good DPM, 2,850. You could run calibrated shells, but it's already got over 300 mils of APCR. I don't personally see much of a reason to do that. When it comes to this vehicle's armor, it's non-existent. While it looks like it has the hull of a Panther 2, it's more like the hull of a Panther No. It's basically going to get penned by every shell that hits it, which is obviously not ideal. Thankfully, the Scorpion's hull is not HE, prone. You're not going to be HE'd every time you get hit. The turret is a different story. You can hit the turret at every single angle, and it's going to pen with high explosive. So, yeah, that's obviously going to be something you're going to have to worry about. The gun has high alpha damage, 460, and it's probably one of the most accurate tanks in the game when it comes to alpha. It's just great. So, in that regard, the Scorpion G is amazing. It's got mobility, 50 km per hour top speed. Its power to weight is kind of mediocre, though. I will say that right now. It takes a little bit of time to accelerate. I don't even know why. I guess it's just because it's got an underpowered engine for how big the vehicle is. But that shouldn't stop us from getting out some damage. We got a Progetto 46 going down the mid-ramp. And sometimes that's always helpful, because you might spot people coming over here. However, that does not look like the case, at least as of currently. We have the T-49 all the way in the back, and that may have hit. Unfortunately, we have an enemy Su-130 who, okay, we're good. Obviously, having that mobility is nice because you're able to get out of a situation you may have put yourself in, and look at that accuracy. That is crazy. We domed that Su-130 across the map. You couldn't do that in a lot of tier 8s. So the Chisei just shot. We are going to reload him, so we're just going to poke his lower plate. There you go. Nice 434 damage shell. Chisei is going to reload again, and we're just going to wait a little bit. He's going to show us his lower plate. We do get hit by that Scorpion, though. Or not Scorpion, the Su-130 in the back, which is not exactly what I want. Come on, poke it. Poke it, you little stinker. 3, 2, 1. Nope, I don't think that hit him. Shell went exactly where I wanted, but just wasn't the angular that we needed to hit his tank. Okay, well, we have an action in the back, which is always nice, because that's a great tank for holding the enemy back. We're going to aim it on the LIS, and oof, 435 shot right into his track wheel. And look at how fast this thing reloads. In 5 seconds, we're already going to have another shell. If the Action 10 hits that LIS, there you go. He's now a one-shot, and we finish him off. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to camp a lot in this vehicle. If you think you can get away frontlining in a tank that has literally 0 armor, good luck. And you might be able to occasionally, but it's not the idea of the Scorpion. You're going to play passive, you're going to play in the back. But what you can get away with are these absolutely massive chunks. I mean, look at that. 523 roll is that Helsing. He can't even do anything to really counter us. And then we have the Super Pershing off to the side. He shoots me, and then he loses 415. Awful roll, but we still hit him pretty dang hard. We're going to put on our adrenaline, and the 252 fired, so we're just aiming on his flat side. 575 max roll. That brings us over 4,000 damage at this point. We're not able to HE the 252 anywhere, but that's fine. We're going to aim it on his turret. Got a 481 damage shot, and yeah. Is there much else I need to say? The Scorpion is amazing. The gun is great. The DPM, the mobility, everything about this vehicle is what you would want for a tank destroyer that sacrifices its armor for the gun. We probably ace this would be my guess. first? Nope, it's first class. I guess we did stay pretty far back, and usually tank destroyers don't get that much XP because you are playing so passive. Yeah, only about 1,200. Probably would have needed 1,300 to ace it, but hey, 5,000 damage is a really solid result, and I think that really showed the capabilities of the Scorpion. So, the final vehicle we have is the TL-7-120. Yes, I know the FCM is currently in the store as well, but I really just don't care about that tank. It's such a mediocre vehicle that I'm not even going to bother to play in it. The TL-7 features a very, very strong gun. It's got great heat penetration, 363 millimeters. It's got 7 degrees of gun depression, which is enough to work some ridge lines, and a very strong turret. And actually, the hull is the major strength. The upper plate on this vehicle is upwards of 350 mils thick with enhanced armor on. That's crazy. It means that basically every tank on the enemy team cannot pen my upper plate. Problem is, I got a weak lower plate, some of the worst track wheels in the game, and I also have a big ol' hongler-bongler called a hatch on the roof. So, there's a lot of advantages to driving this vehicle, but there's also a lot of disadvantages. We are going to be driving our heavy, obviously, right toward the front, and we'll see what we can do here. With Super Speed Boost activated, we're able to get up to a decent top speed of 40. In my opinion, this vehicle should have a top speed of 40 base, but it's not the biggest deal. It's got a good power to weight, we can see, even without the speed boost on, so it's not awful. And we are going to make it right over towards this overlook here. Now, we are a little bit low down, which makes it kind of hard to overlook the spot, as we can see. Because we haven't detected anything over here. Yep, I was about to say, sometimes people like to cross, which we have spotted them doing. Alright, well, let's move up a bit. There you go. There it is. Oh, okay. He just penned me right in the upper plate like that. Okay. Interesting. I don't have anything to say. I'm kind of speechless. We have the 50 TP, who I would love to hit, but he's just not showing enough of his tank to be a weak spot yet. We have the M6 Experimental, who, there you go, we got a nice 400 roll into, thank you. And we reload. We are just going to chill in the base for now. The problem is I don't have much support on the medium side, which is not going to help me when I need it. So I don't actually ideally want to sit in the base cap forever, but I don't really know what else to do here. We have the 50 TP, and bonk, there you go. Nice 356 shot into his vehicle. We have the T-28 Defender, who appears like he's going to push us, so we're just going to chill here, and bonk, there you go, nice shell. Oh, but now we have the Shark on us as well. Oh boy, this is not what I want, this is not what I want. We get another shell into the T-28 Defender. He misses me, and he's actually dead. Okay, well, that's good news. We have the Shark. He resets the base. At this point, I think the best decision I can make, first of all, is to HE the M6, but then it's to put on our Super Speed Boost and reverse somewhat out of here. Thankfully, we do feature good reverse speed while not featuring any traverse speed, because we're waiting for our repair kit to come back. But there you go. We got it back. We're able to get out of the way of the Shark, and we're doing pretty good. As we can see, the TL-7 is just a really, really solid tank. The DPM is great, and when you pair that with the fact we've got really good pen, we've got really, really solid armor for the majority of situations you play it, it's just a great tank for most battles you play. So we finish off that player there. We have the Patton who's going to try and shoot us, and he's not able to. We're just going to push to the side of this Patton here. We're going to have our shell in just a moment. We're going to keep him tracked as well, so it's harder for him to push me. And, yeah, I don't think this Patton's enjoying our company all too much. No, he is not. Alright, well, the SMV is going to get the clear there. We're going to poke the side of the M6. We're going to finish him off, and there you have it. That's a win and a half. We got 2 kills, 4,000 damage, and a good battle to end off today's video on. Oof, man, a lot of games played there. We had a lot of wins, though, so I can't get too mad. We didn't get an ace, but we did get a first class, which is pretty dang solid, and we did double the next highest on the team. So, I actually really like the TL-7. I think the Scorpion G is a great tank. I don't think this is the worst bundle ever. I also don't think it's a great bundle. I would recommend to buy these tanked individually, depending on what playstyle you're looking for, because they're very different. I think that either one of these price tags, though, is not awful. So, if you wanted the Scorpion, 8,500 gold is a decent deal, and if you wanted the TL-7, 12,000 gold is not awful for a tier 9. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.